All right, go ahead, Manny.
It's funny to think that there is no one here. That's that's just it's like out of sight for most people.
Yeah, can't a person can't see this,
No,
so to
no.
so to say.
I was listening to one of your tapes, and it was talking about they were asking you about Tolly originally,
Uh-huh.
and then you went on to Muji,
Yeah.
and then Advaita, and other things like that. Yeah, it's almost like everybody goes through the same kind of the same teachers and the same type of things over and over. Different ones,
Yeah.
but they're the same lineage, you might say, or whatever. But it doesn't, like they were saying, the books don't do it, and the teachers actually don't do it.
Well, they can appear to do it until they don't.
Yeah. Yes.
Seeking can seem like a really,
Oh, yeah.
really great idea until it doesn't.
When we think we got it this time, it's almost like, yeah, you want to let everyone know, and it's just, okay, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that's
And,
complete. It's
and they
not.
look at you like, well, you're, yeah, right.
Yeah, so like you were saying there, Manny. So a lot of us start with meditation, Muji, Adyashanti, go through the whole thing, most of us.
Yeah,
And now we're at this thing, I'll call it non-duality for the lack of a better name.
yeah,
And but when we were following the other teachers, we were very excited. Follow this guy, follow that guy. I found the truth here. Da 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 da. And now we're here in well, whatever we're doing here, whatever this is, and this is okay. Do this, da 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 da. And I was just thinking, like 50 years from now, and most of us probably won't be here in 50 years, except Yuri maybe will be here in 50 years, but the rest of us probably won't. I wonder, will 50 or 100 years from now, and we're back again, and this will become what we're doing now, what this is, will become like another Muji, because we, 50 or 100 years from now, there'll be something new, and we'll be looking back going, oh, remember when we used to go on Zoom and talk about all that non-duality stuff? So I'm just looking way ahead, that this is just another stopping point or another along the infinite way.
Yeah. The dream is endless.
Okay, beautiful.
that's exactly what my mind has been telling me. Is this too the end that apparently is not the end because there is no end.
Well, what never began cannot end.
Yeah, yeah. But it's almost like a suspicion because the mind starts getting, well, you better look out. This isn't it either. Just like all the rest of them, all that kind of stuff. So the doubt creeps in, and yet you realize that with the mind you can't grasp it, but this is what's happening right now. And maybe there's something else that's beyond that comprehension. And that's what I think Don's alluding to. Yeah.
Hey, Yuri, it's an open discussion. So if you have anything to share, jump in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me and thank you for hosting. um, yeah, I'm just feeling like it's refreshing to be with people who are talking about this. Um, yeah. and like acknowledging the limits of the mind. And you know um I also feel like, it's like, oh, I've got it and I understand it, and then, you know yeah, it's like the slippery thing with the mind. And yeah. Uh-huh.
I wrote a little note here to myself right before the meeting. It said, exhaustion can open already. Because, you know, this is shared is already, you're already what you see, but that can't be heard by the me. As Paul Hederman says, it has immunity. The me has immunity from hearing this message. But exhaustion is what can that can happen where you just don't know up from down. I've talked about this. You just literally are out of tries. And that exhaustion is so humbling. It just breaks you. Like literally, it's like drowning. That moment, where you suddenly realize, oh shit, I may drown. Like, I don't know if anybody here has had that experience of being in a riptide in the ocean and not being able to pull yourself up. And there's that moment of, oh, this could be it.
Mm.
So that's what's meant by not knowing. Like you really are out of fucks. You don't know, and you're not saying that for any reason except you don't know anymore. You just don't know.
That's good. Yeah. All these teachings, though, have helped me to deal with situations that come up, and and on a practical basis, you can just see what's going on, and you can just act appropriately, and
Mhm.
you don't need to go along with the drama that's taking place. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Manny. I noticed that I get a lot more done and say I do a lot less talking in situations than I used to. So if I go to the doctor's office, there's just not a whole lot I need to say. It's like the body knows where to sit and where to sign in and whether to put a mask on. It just seems to unfold on its own if you let it.
Mm.
Like this moment doesn't need you can be heard two ways. It can be, oh, let me let Anon in. It can be heard as depressing. What? The moment doesn't need me. That's horrible. But it can also be a great relief because you were never apart from life in the first place.
So is there a knowing that you don't know? So if you don't know, like you were referring to before, you don't know, is that a knowing?
Well, you could say it's a knowing, but it's not a knowing for anybody.
Right.
Mm.
But it's a knowing which that knowing is synonymous with freedom. Knowing you don't know.
Well,
Not knowing from the me.
it's even simpler than that. It's not, that's even like Knowing that you don't know is too much.
Huh.
It's almost like a silent acknowledgement of, yeah, been there, done that. It's good. I am powerless. I don't have.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
good, Manny. And it's like, but it's a celebration. Like
yeah,
powerless is not, it's like you were using a little 1 volt battery and now you're like using the sun.
yeah. It's freedom to just be okay with yourself. Just and you don't have to think about others or the thoughts that come up and say, I have to do something about this one and that one.
Yeah.
It, it's just you don't need to obey in the thoughts and emotions that need to control you to have their apparent life.
Yeah, it can be exhausting.
Yeah, they're draining. Yeah, drains your energy.
Hmm.
Apparently.
Well, it can be a revelation when it's seen that the thoughts actually don't have any power whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what thoughts are like? It's like, imagine if you had like purple skywriting on the sun and the purple skywriting on the sun was like taking credit for shit. Oh, look at me. I can do stuff, but it's all thanks to the sun. The purple is just writing it out in words. And so that's what concepts are. Concepts get swallowed, get believed.
You, Ray, where are you at? Where are you?
I'm in Redmond, Washington, outside of
Ah,
Seattle.
Cool.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you all at?
I'm in Cedar City, Utah.
Nice.
Redmond must have had some snow or some kind of weather, maybe not.
It had a weather, it had I guess they were calling it a bomb cyclone.
Yeah, water. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Got a little bit of snow from it, and
Oh, really?
last night, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
it's coming
Cool.
through here and stuff. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm
And
I'm
how
I'm
about
glad.
Dawn?
Oh, I'm in San Francisco, right
Okay.
right down the road.
Yeah. And
Nice.
I'm on the other end of I'm in LA.
Come.
LA.
LA. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thank you, Yuri, for bringing Krishna to the meeting.
Um,
I didn't know that Krishna would come, but I guess he resonates with what we're saying.
Of course.
right.
Of course.
Right.
I mean, Don, you are Krishna.
I this meeting is Krishna, right? Yeah.
And
I just have to say, I usually say at the end, but this is a beautiful, beautiful meeting going on right now here. Very beautiful. This is very auspicious. This is a blessing. Okay.
well, where's Arjuna?
Oh, well, you. I'm not going to get near that one.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, so it's all a play. Everything can be enjoyed. It's like a freedom, you know? It's like you're free to cuss, you're free to get angry, you know what I mean? You're free to get frustrated. Like, how awesome is that?
Hmm.
There are limits. That's the problem. We say we want to be free, yet we hold on to our limitations.
Well, yeah. So let's, you know, everything has an opposite.
Mhm.
Yeah. So right now, what is already present, you could say, it already is. So we don't have to manufacture it with words or a thought. And what it is can never be pointed to, can never be spoken, because it's not a thing. So suddenly thoughts are celebrated because words are, it's all we got. It's all we have are these words, but they're empty. Everything's empty. So that's when the magic show begins, when it's all seen as empty, the play of Leela, Krishna. It's all magic. It's either all magic or it's, if there's anything that doesn't, if there's still me there that's claiming something, then it doesn't feel magic. It's all magic. Even the sense of being a me.
Mhm. Mhm.
One big magic light show. How beautiful.
Yeah, really. And it's like here and gone. That's what's not appreciated by the me, is the me's too busy in its fucking head and it's missing the light show. It's like replaying old episodes, you
Yeah.
know, rather than just allowing the light show to be what in the moment, like fresh and holy shit. Like it makes your light show in your head look like piss. Another good inquiry is and it's not like you're looking for an answer. Like I notice people they try and go to like a logical answer, and that's kind of, it's not in the, it's not going to be found in the logic. So like this can't be believed. It just is. You know what I mean? Like is so much more powerful than a belief. Like no belief, every belief bows to this. Like it's, this is what sees the belief. So the belief in this are not two. Um, I like what Jenny says. I don't know if you guys know Jen. You guys know Jenny. She says, "Seeing is rendering. Seeing is rendering," meaning what's seeing this and what's making this appear are not two.
That's a good one. Feels like feels like a tall step in a sense, but yeah, yeah. Mhm.
a friend of mine used to say, "Seeing is the doing," and and it's almost like what you're saying. The rendering is what's going on,
Well, exactly.
and
So
it's just one thing.
exactly. And by the time you're
Yeah,
thinking about something, it's already rendered on.
yeah.
So it never, so that's what, remember, Don, like there was
Mm.
with the, I was asking in Kosi, why is it said that nothing's happening, right? Which sounds preposterous, right? What do you mean nothing's happening, right? It just doesn't compute. You're like, so what's pointed to, or when it said that nothing's happening, it's because nothing actually becomes a concrete, static, stationary, solid thing. Everything's in the process of becoming, it never solidifies. So you can't really say anything happened. It's a happening. That's
Then it's not one or two. There's just happening.
Is it in potential prior to the happening, or is it just it
yeah,
doesn't?
yeah, good, Benny. Yeah, you
Is
could
it?
say that. Well, it balances out, right? The yin and the yang. The happening, there's also a non-happening, we could say. So the two, a happening and a non-happening, they're not, they're not two. Every opposite left contains right, up
Mhm.
contains down, happy contains sad.
Oh, correct me if I'm out of whack, but from the emptiness, this silence or the spaciousness comes the appearances, the manifestation. But prior to that, it is that it's almost like life energy uh, allows something to come up, to spring up, you might say, or whatever, the dualistic part of the appearance. But it's not dualistic until I identify with it. When there's a subject
Mm.
to it. There's and without the subject, it still is there. The appearances are there, but to no one, to know because the one is the one that's naming it and giving it form, giving it an appearance of whatever it is, and then it kind of stores it in its mind and stuff. But back to the emptiness is what it's almost like that yin and yang type thing is going on. That's the appearance, everything. And like you said last week, you pick up one end of the stick and you got them both. It's just one thing. It's always just one thing. When you're arguing with somebody else, you're arguing with yourself. There's no other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yet it says it blames them for the way I'm acting. It goes into the story of you're wrong, I'm right kind of a thing. And it creates the apparent duality. So anyway, pick that apart.
No.
Beautifully, beautifully said.
Yeah.
It's like, in the biblical story of God creates Adam, and then which is just one. Adam is just one. And then God creates the animals and the sky and everything else. But he creates it, but it's not real until Adam names it. God says, Adam, you have to name what this is. You have to name what this is. And then when Adam names, this is a tiger, this is a dog, whatever, then it becomes whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it is a naming. God said, name it.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning was the word.
Word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking tonight, I was going, this is all made up.
Yeah.
Beautifully, not bad, not like it's made up. It's not like even an illusion. That's got a negative connotation. This is just made up. Everything in this so-called life is just, I made it up and named it, and then I live in it, sort of, and suffer until I come to this meeting and go, oh, I don't. It's just made up, but that's not bad, right? It's just made up. It's sort of creative. I make this up. I make that up. Oh, there's my son. I made him up. There's my wife. I made her up. Well, there's my dog. Made her up. You know? Oh, look at these beautiful people on this screen. I made them up.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Made up. And so if they're made up, then they can be totally, totally enjoyed and played with and interacted with. Beautiful. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, some of you may have seen my new video I posted about the waves and the ocean appear to be separate, but the wave is the ocean and the ocean is the wave. They're not two.
Annie, you're muted.
You're right. You're right again. Remember Jeff Foster?
Oh yeah.
He used to talk about the waves and stuff all the time. The waves waving at each other and stuff, kind of thing. Tony Parsons kind of uses that too.
Yeah,
But
Jeff and I were friends when his book, Life Without a Center, was the
yeah,
first non-duality book I ever bought, like
yeah,
about 14 years ago or something. And I used to host him when he'd come to LA. Nicest guy in the world.
yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's gone back and forth. Like he was
Yes.
a non-duality teacher. Now he says, "Don't you dare call me that."
Yeah.
He's so sweet. He's very emotional, into his feelings, and is happy to be there with others, in an open way. Yeah,
Yeah.
sweetie.
Hmm.
I saw him in Science and Non-Duality, the type things and stuff, and they used to make fun of him and things. And when I was going up to my room, my wife and I, uh, we met at the same elevator, and we were teasing him about because he was young and attractive, and they were making fun of him on stage and stuff, this puppet and stuff like that. Oh, it's Jeff Foster. Yeah. It was kind of clever, but he was really a kind of sincere. He's been through a lot of physical things and a lot
Yeah,
of other kind of things
yeah,
and has learned a lot from it. But it's almost like the silence, just being like what we're trying to get, and it's not even getting to because it is already what we've been looking for.
yeah,
It's almost like being home, and then you can feel when you're not. You can sense it. You can sense that kind of uneasiness, little irritation or whatever. There's something going on, and then you're content. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Jeff Foster. I don't know that I've ever heard of him. And but I feel like, yeah, there's a uh like I I'm also feel very feeling based, and like, like in the Ayurvedic system, like some kapha, and like that's like they say like propensity to bhakti yoga.
Mhm.
Um and like it's been it's I feel like I've resisted that that's actually my path to non-dual awareness, Um yeah.
Yeah, Yuri, are you a closet bhakti?
Yeah. Is devoted to Krishna
Yeah,
on the back wall
maybe.
there. Yeah.
Right.
Listen, Nisargadatta did pujas.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong. That's what's so beautiful. That's the freedom that's shared here.
Hmm.
This can be talked about in any way that resonates for you. You can't fuck it up. It's beautiful.
Mm, mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
that profound insight, Yuri. Very profound, very
Mm.
beautiful. But thank you. Boy, like, that just opened up lots of space over here.
Oh,
Like,
sweet.
like it's like, oh, I can be. I'm more bhakti also. Like you, it's like that's okay. But there's me. But there's Krishna. Now there's two. Oh, that's not non-duality. Oh my God, I better throw Krishna away. Oh God. Oh, this is great. You can be who you are.
Hmm.
Well, that's a wild concept. That's
Yeah.
wild in a non-duality meeting.
Well, that's the open acceptance at this meeting. That's kind of rare.
Mhm.
Jenny, Leela, and myself talk about it. It's like it's all welcomed. All of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the
Mhm.
feelings you don't want to share, the embarrassment, the shame, all of it.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I feel that.
It's funny. It's like going to a party and you're so used to like doing stuff for the party, and they say, well, there's just nothing for you to do. You're just gonna come to the party and just have a good time, and and you just like feel guilty, like, well, maybe I could straighten out the napkins or like I'll just help a little. No, we don't need your help. Just do whatever you want. Have a good time. It's so hard. You can't just let go and have a good time. You feel like you must do something to awaken.
Go in the corner and be, just be.
Well, that's the celebration of already.
Yeah.
You're already free to roam about the cabin. You know, you're
Yeah. You know
you're
that
already you're already
yeah.
it. You're already what you see because everything's it. You see, everything's it already. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything is everything. It doesn't leave anything out. So it's already.
Mhm. It reminded me of seeing little kids being in school, being sent to the corner. Remember that kind of a thing? And but now, if only they had known, they could be just perfectly well doing that. I mean, I don't have to do the work and something. I could just be here in the corner and just veg out. Just kind of be okay. Instead of being, oh, woe is me, nobody likes me and they're punishing me. And
Well,
it's a trauma.
I have to say, it seems
Mhm.
pretty regular here, like just to say in this human existence. The self identity seems to happen naturally in the body. There's a belief that I'm a separate person and I'm inside this body and
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. And it's so strong and so innocent.
Mhm.
And then it could begin to dawn on you that, well, gee, I assume I was born, I always thought of my birthday. I know the day I was born on, so but suddenly you're not buying it. Like you're like, okay, well, yeah, I know the body came out of mom, but does that have to do with me?
Mhm. Yeah. When you first hear you were never born, you're never going to die, that kind of thing. And it just goes right over your head. Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whenever you hear it again, it's kind of, oh yeah, I know that. Yet we don't. And then finally, when you get back to prior to birth or prior to thought, the thought of me, you start seeing things differently. You start, it's almost like opening up to something other than the program,
Hmm.
this program that's been,
Yeah.
yeah, that have been acted out.
Well,
Of-
that's the discomfort of, for some of us, feeling like a separate individual is quite painful, actually,
Yeah.
quite painful. At least it
Yeah.
was here. And I
Mhm.
couldn't do it. Like I didn't know how to do life. Like I couldn't quite figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
so that's where the giving up came in. It's like, well, I just like, I surrendered, I like, I can't even pretend.
Mhm. Took a while to get to that point, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you have a lot of tries. You could have a lot of
Yeah.
tries left.
Yeah. And then you get down and you're on the floor, but then you get back up. And then you're
Like,
at it again for a while.
like the Terminator, man, where it reconstitutes itself.
Yeah. 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 I'm back at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'd shoot the Terminator, like the cop one, it would like fall apart, and then all of a sudden, all the mercury balls would start to recongeal back into the monster. That's kind of
Yeah.
like how the me is. You know,
Yeah.
it seemed
Yeah.
like it goes away for like, and then it's back.
It's back.
I'm back.
I'm back for more. Yeah. Yeah. The answer is just around the corner, and I'm just about there.
So yeah, excuse me. That's another thing that you can question. The answer is just around the corner. Like that's how it's making its living,
Yeah.
is by promising that it's not here. It's
Yeah.
just up ahead by the signpost.
Yeah.
That was a Twilight Zone reference.
Mhm. That's an oldie. Yeah.
So, like you were saying, Manny, at a previous meeting,
Mm.
you could hear already 1,000 times, and then suddenly on the 1,001st time,
Yeah. Yeah.
you hear it differently.
Mhm. Yeah. There was something else that I, I think it was Jenny mentioned, and because I used to use a resistance to the disturbances, the disturbance, and then she said resistance to whatever is what you're longing for. And that gave it a different dimension because I could look at it as that's true.
Hmm.
I'm longing to be home, but the separate self has got its own life going and it's afraid to give it up. It's a no, I can't give. What am I going to get if I give it up? It keeps on chattering and and
Well,
doing
the
fear.
sep the separate
Yeah.
self can't see the resistance as being this too.
Yep, yep. And the pain and struggle is just the resistance.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
resisting the resistance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But the funny part, nobody's doing either one. There's no one resisting, and there's no one resisting the resisting, and no one turtles
Yeah,
turtles all the way down.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's where the plane goes out of sight for most people, because it can't see that it isn't what what it believes it is.
Hmm.
That's it's
Yeah.
almost like a roadblock. It's like, yeah, don't go any further.
Earlier, Manny, you were talking about the urge to want
Mhm.
to share this with other people. And
Mhm.
I have to say, it's quite natural, and of course, happened here too. It's not unlike when a born again Christian first discovers Jesus. They can
Yeah.
be quite zealous in their proselytizing, and it's not any different with non-duality. It just becomes another concept that you're trying to, and that's,
Mhm.
while it's understandable, it can also be seen that there's actually nothing wrong with what everyone else is doing, and there's no need to correct them or tell them differently, unless
Yeah.
they unless they ask.
Yeah.
The way I've been, so I don't talk much about non-duality to other people at all. My practice would be more when I see them. The practice of non-duality for me is knowing that I don't know who they are.
Hmm.
So I don't, what can I teach or tell them? I don't know who they are. They are just this wonderful light show. And to honor that, and that's my practice of non-duality. It's like, or to love, to love them as they are. What what do they need? It's just a beautiful show. They don't need anything. Or if they think they do, they can go do whatever they need to do, to do it. But that's not me. I should just enjoy the show, enjoy it and honor it and serve it. Yeah, I love this stuff. Beautiful. Have I already said what a blessing this group is? How many times? My life,
Yes.
all I want my life now is I just want to see blessings. Everything is a blessing, or everything is this, however you want to say it. And it, I mean, it's a blessing. It goes to the heart.
Well, Don, we do take donations.
Anybody familiar with Course in Miracles? And and
Yeah,
so, is everything a miracle? What they're talking about?
yeah.
In other words, the essence of the book is
Yeah.
it's all a miracle.
Well, that's it. You could have saved 857 pages.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this, and also uh, just dabbling with it, not much. I never really got as
It's
deep as I did in Advaita or Vedanta. Vedanta was, yeah,
that's it. It's
that's it.
all a miracle at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I got a group. There's a group of people that meet on Mondays in another room where I meet for this other meeting, and and they're always, it's like a social group. That's what it is. And they get together every week and talk about the book. They read the book, they read a couple of lines of it, and that's what they discuss.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a part. Yeah, no, I loved Course in Miracles. I never read the whole thing, but I did get into it for a couple years.
Yeah.
If you're a true seeker, you'll try everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, miracles is great until you start believing it. Then you're in trouble.
Well, Michael, you didn't read I Am That all the way through either.
No, I tried. God, I must have tried I Am That like 20 times I could never get through it.
You could get through it now because
Well,
it's alive now. It's what I'm saying.
exactly. Well, you
I
just
could
need the
I
title. I mean, the
yeah,
title, I Am That.
yeah,
If you just stay with that and didn't
yeah,
ever, because eventually you're like, okay, he's not talking about concepts. So all the
yeah.
words and stories and beliefs and past that you thought would, like, you're too immediate. I was thinking about the word pristine,
Yeah,
untouched. That's you. You're pristine and untouched.
yeah,
But as long as you believe otherwise,
yeah. Something that's fresh, that's just crisp. Yeah.
well, like the movie screen, that old saw analogy, right? The movie screen is ever unstained by the film.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter. Raining, storm, earthquake, anything.
The computer when it's not projecting anything. Yeah.
Right. So when we get like sucked into stories, which we all do, it's
Hmm.
completely natural, then suddenly this is like obscured by the movie.
Yeah. I had another comment though on awareness. There's to me, there's two different ways of looking at it, and different teachers teach it this way, and other ones teach it the other. One is it's the source of everything,
Mhm.
and one is it's dualistic because there's a subject that's aware of whatever's going on. Now, I tried to explain that to somebody in a meeting, and they said, "Well, let's not get into the muddy part of stuff." Yeah,
Yeah. So
and
so
yeah,
Manny, which is it?
it's well, it depends on who's the one
Yeah. I'll tell
that's communicating it.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a friggin' trap. Okay? It's a trap. It's mental masturbation. Okay? It's so funny, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, because it sounds really important. Like we have to
Yeah,
get to the bottom of it. Is it one or two?
yeah. Is it the same stick?
Mhm.
Because for a while, I was identifying, and other people are still doing it. I am the awareness that's aware of these things, and the thoughts, feelings, emotions are known to me.
Hmm.
The awareness that's,
Hmm.
and it's not who I am.
Hmm.
And so, dealing with thoughts and emotions and feelings and projection, all these things that subtly appear, those things can be seen better than just allowing them to just take over and obey them unconsciously, because they run my life if I'm not aware of them. But yet at the same time, there's no me to be aware of them. So is it there's the source is saying, the source being the screen, the blank screen is allowing the objects to appear on the screen, but it's never affected by any of the things that appear on it. And it's almost like I could see what's happening a lot of times. Yesterday I was in a meeting, and before the meeting there was a lot of ruckus going on. It was actually a Al-Anon meeting that I was having and directing, and these other people were in an AA meeting, but they had their kids down the hall. Kids were screaming and all this kind of stuff. So this one guy that was in my meeting got up and screamed at the kids, and then the parents came out and said, "Did you scream at the kids?" And there was a ruckus going on at the door. You caused him trauma and all this kind of stuff. And and I let it go on for a little bit, and then I just got up and said, at the end of this, just close the door and get him back here. And then we talked about the vibration that he was still feeling and stuff. The because of the height of the emotional, I'm right, and they got to get their act together, and they're wrong. The whole drama going on.
Yeah.
And I could see that was just what was happening. And it's almost like you could let it go on for a little bit, and you just say that, okay, enough of this. And you just clear the air with it, and you can discuss it later and see that the guy wanted to make amends to the parents and stuff, because he said he caught himself being so-called wrong, but it's just what was going on. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up as far as I'm not sure why I brought that up. It was on my mind, that's why. Yeah.
Like you can notice that the me never starts from the unknown.
I don't think it could, because if there was
No,
nothing to know, how could it?
it's just something that can be noticed. You're
Yeah.
always starting as a something, as a position,
Yes.
as something you know. And
Yeah.
it can also be noticed that what you are, that's unknowable. So unknowable doesn't have a starting position.
And I noticed also that I was taking a higher viewpoint than they were. Than I could see what's going on. I could.
So natural,
Hmm.
Annie, so normal to do.
Yeah.
All been there.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that also perpetuates the self-centeredness, the I, which is also included in everything.
Well, here's the cool part. It's all for you.
Yeah.
That whole show was not about the other people.
Yeah.
That was just immediate feedback to yourself.
Hmm.
And then you can begin to notice what feels good. What feels good, I've found, is being open and quiet and just peaceful and seeing what emerges rather than coming in preloaded.
Yeah.
And that can happen too. Coming in preloaded happens as well. But there can also be like your favorite song, when you have like a melody that you enjoy, so the stillness can start to like kind of woo you.
Mhm.
Like you start noticing it everywhere, like at the bus stop, in your car. Like you notice the stillness is always here. You just didn't notice it.
All of this is in the stillness. All movement and form and the everything is like not in the stillness. It's like not in it. It's with it. It's like it's like it's your best friend. You ever thought about that? The stillness is your best friend, 24/7. Never leaves you, whether you're happy, down, up, in, out, angry, frustrated, suffering, not suffering. Always there, 24/7, so close to you, right? Like Yogananda says, it's behind your eyeballs. That's how close it is to you. So you just have to I don't know. So okay, so I'm giving a thumbs up to the stillness. Like
Yeah.
it's personal too. It can be. I think it can be felt personally. It's a personal relationship on one level.
Yeah.
It can be felt. It could be loved. It can be shared.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Well, that's the bhakti. The
Bhakti.
bhakti is just being, because there's like some people have a problem with Jenny being so joyous, like she's like in rapture, she has literal like bliss for hours. So she
Yeah.
filmed some of it. And that that pisses some people off, you know? And that's why this is shared. This is just, it's like a fragrance or a melody.
Yeah.
If it speaks to your heart,
Yeah.
nothing will be able to keep you away.
Yeah. So Yuri, anything else about bhakti? So we don't have much time left. I just wanted if you had anything to say about it, or your bhakti practice.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I've been reading the Ramayana lately, and uh yeah, hmm. I don't know what I can say about it. I've also been I've wanted like a very rational I mean, one thing I read from maybe Vivekananda or somebody, but was like bhakti, like Jnana yoga is about the I, and bhakti is about mine. And so you give up mine maybe to I'm not sure, that's just regurgitated, but yeah, I think of it like that like pure awareness and pure and unconditional love is both at the very top of the mountain, and but when you're walking up one side, it looks very different. Your view looks very different from when you're walking up the other side, but when you get to the top, it's it's the same view. um but I don't know, maybe that's regurgitated too. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is free. You can worship it, you can bhakti it, you can be a devotee. It's beautiful because it's all things already. So it literally doesn't matter.
Mm, mm.
That's the freedom. It's already free. Everything is already free. Even the thought I'm not free is it freely arising. Thank you guys so much. What a
Thank
blast.
you.
Thank
Don,
Yeah,
you so
great.
Yuri,
much.
Manny, Anon, everybody. Mwah. Have a
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a great one. Have a
Thank
great one.
you.
Thanks,
Lovely
guys.
talking to you guys.